Me again, Raquel here, and it is time for another Girl Meets World video. Are you guys excited? Because I'm freaking excited. Okay, so let's get down to business. So I just watched Girl Meets Sweet 16, and it was a fantastic episode, and I freaking loved it. I'm crying right now. Like, I was crying. Literally for like 5 minutes, I was sobbing because this episode really hit home for me this time. Like, a lot of the episodes do, but this one was just like, whoa, like, they get me, like Michael Jacobs really tries to relate to everybody in this, and so let's just start. I have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let's just start from the beginning then. Let's just start with the episode itself. So, like I said, I just watched it. It was really good. It was funny. It was witty. It was romantic. It was just so cute. As you all know, of course, I'm a Ryarkle shipper. But you know what? After a while, realizing that the show's gonna get the show's canceled, I realized that ships don't really matter. Obviously, this show is about friendship and life, and that's what I kind of learned in this episode today. I finally realized that as long as characters are happy, then there's nothing we really can do about it, I guess you could say. So like I said, as you all know, I'm a Ryarkle shipper, and it was interesting, because a lot of Smarkle was in this, Farkle and Smackle. And I love Smackle. She was so cute in this episode. She was like, I think this was like her best episode for me. She really, really brought out her character. I really wanted her to deepen her character more and realize her feelings, not just for Farkle, but for everything else in life. And I really think that she's finally got to that point, where she's just growing up. You're 15, you're young, but it's like you have to have a mind of an adult, but you still have to kind of have a mind of a child. And I think that's what really confuses teenagers nowadays, because that's how I felt. I had to think like an adult, but I had to think still like a teenager. And it was really hard on me. And I didn't tell anybody this, but when I turned 14, I was in 8th grade. After 8th grade, I graduated with my friends. I grew up in my town since I was, since in kindergarten. Went to middle school, elementary school with them, went to middle school with them. And then finally, one day, my mom and my grandparents announced that we were moving to another town, which is only about 25 minutes away, but it was far enough to where I would have to start at a whole new school. And I think that's why I took this episode so hard, because when the girls were crying about possibly moving to London, it broke my heart, because when I found out, I cried like a baby when I had to move to my town that I live in now. And, well, no, not where I live in now, because now I live in another town for school. But my town, like where I moved for high school, I look at it as my hometown now, because, I wasn't ready for change, and kind of like what the girls are going through. I was not ready for change. I wanted everything to stay still when I was 14. I wanted to keep my friends. I wanted to keep going to high school with them, but that life just doesn't work out that way. Life throws at you surprises in different directions, and you don't know where your life is going to go. I didn't realize that I was going to move to a whole town. I didn't realize I was going to go to a high school and meet my amazing and wonderful friends that I have today. This decision of my path was so powerful that I'm not even really friends with the people I grew up with for all those years. My true friends are the ones that I made when I moved into this town. They're all here, all my friends, and that's where I made all my friends. That's where I made my real experience and life connections and people connections, my relationships with guys. It really took a toll on my heart and my body, but in the end, I realized, it was the best thing for me, and life has a way. Life is always going to steer you into the right direction, and moving into this town was the right direction for me. I love this town. I love my friends. I have family who live in this town. I couldn't have asked for a better path to happen in my life when I was 14. You can't control it, but you learn to adapt it, and you may end up loving it. And I think that's why I love this episode so much, because, I felt exactly the way Riley and Maya were feeling. And it just really took a toll on me, because when I moved, it broke my heart. And when I saw them cry, it just kind of brought back those memories and how upset I was. And, everything is just so easier when you're a teenager. I'm going to be 23 this year. And I'm an adult now. I have to think, act, and live like an adult. I have to cook my own meals, do my own laundry. I live by myself. Well, not by myself. I have my 2 roommates, but I do life-based decisions now on that will affect my life, that will affect me for the rest of my life. You make decisions like that when you're a teenager too. You make decisions that will affect the rest of your life, but you can always fix it. A lot of the time when you're in your 20s, you can't really fix it. You just kind of have to make the right decision at the time and just hope for the best, and hopefully it turns out okay. If it turns out shitty, then you're kind of like, okay, well, now I got to start over. In high school, you could have probably just fixed it and it would have gone away. It doesn't work like that when you're an adult. Anyway, life lesson for you on that. I'm sorry about that. I kind of got carried away. Anyway, but anyways, so yeah, a lot of smarkle in this, and a lot of people were really upset. Now, if you guys remember my video from a couple months ago, I talked about the girl meets the game changer, right? The game changer was Topanga getting a job offer in London, and that was the game changer. Everyone was really sad about it, and then I heard that's when I started hearing that when people who went to the taping, that Smarkle had a really intense connection in this episode. I completely agree. I did not think that the connection was going to be this strong for Smarkle, but it was. I was just expecting like a, hey, we're going to be together for a long time kind of thing. And it was that, but it was also like almost to the basis of them two saying, I love you to each other. And I was just kind of like, whoa, like I didn't expect that. Like, they're like kids, they're 15. I did not expect that at all. I'm sorry if, if it disappointed anyone. I mean, it disappointed me in a way, because like I said, I'm a hierarchical shipper, but, you have to remember, this show isn't about the ships. It's about the friendships and the connections with your parents, your friends, your teachers, life itself. It's not really about who ends up with who. I mean, I would love Riley and Farkle to end up together, but obviously with the show being canceled, it's going to make it harder to happen. We'll talk about that later, though. But, and then because Smackle admitted to having really deep feelings for Farkle, that's why she flirts with Lucas so much, because she has her own, like, what do you call it? She has her own self-doubt. Like, she's insecure, about his feelings for her. She doesn't know if he likes her like that as much, and like he even told her like, hey, like I like you so much that if you decide to move somewhere else, like I would totally let you. And that's like love, but they're so young, they're 15, they haven't figured out love yet. When I was 15, I was actually in love. I got my first boyfriend at 15, and I was totally in love with him. So I guess I kind of found love sorry, there's a lot of light over there. I guess I found love kind of pretty early, in my opinion. I guess it was early for me, but obviously for Smackle and for Farkle, they don't know what love is yet. They're too young. They want to figure that out together, because they think that they'll be together forever, because they think that they're a perfect match, right? Because they're both smart. They both always have a hard time filing their feelings. That's why, hey, we're a perfect match. Like, we can work this out together. And I completely agree. There are some couples who are like that, who are meant to be together. I totally agree with that. I had a relationship like that too, where we were perfect for each other. Like we had the same common sense of mind, and we wanted to work together because we thought we'd be together forever. But when it came to me in that relationship, we realized that we were just too much alike, and you grow up and you realize that you should be with somebody else. And, like sometimes being alike just gets kind of boring. So you want to be with somebody else. So we moved on from our lives and we broke up. And I would hate for that to happen to Farkle and Smackle, but at the same time, I think they have a deep chemistry connection. I just don't think it's in a relationship-wise, like I've said. I think they have a beautiful connection. I think they would make great friends. But I firmly still believe Farkle should end up with Riley, because they're just so perfect, because they have a beautiful friendship, because they really do understand each other's feelings. Farkle does have feelings, so does Riley, and I think they bring out the best in each other. Farkle brings out a lot of goodness in Smackle, and Smackle brings a lot of goodness out in Farkle, but I don't think it's their best. Farkle is at his best when he's with Riley. Riley is at her best when she's with Farkle. That's why I've always believed that they make a great couple, because Riley and Lucas don't bring out the best in each other. I think they bring out the best in each other as friends, but not as a couple. So anyway, so that's what that is. So don't get discouraged, because we still have Girl Meets Goodbye. And in that episode, it was talked that when Farkle realizes that Riley is moving, it takes a toll on him, because they're saying that he realizes that, what the hell, like, I should be with, like, Riley, like, she's leaving, like, what if this is the girl that I'm meant to be with? Because all of these emotions are just running around in his head. So he doesn't really know what to do. So we still have Girl Meets Goodbye, so don't worry about that. Great episode. I give it a 10 out of 10. It really took me home for this one. Zay was great. Smack was great. That Zay and Smackle moment was so funny. And Lucas was pretty good in this episode. He was, he's decent, whatever. I like Lucas. He's very cute. We had a Rucus moment. So good for you, Rucus shippers. When they held hands, I guess, whatever. Good for you. Again, I think they're good as friends. I just don't think they're a good relationship. But, hey, a moment's a moment for you, right? And with Topanga getting her job offer, right, it was really upsetting. And Corey, I love Corey because he, no matter what, will always support Topanga. And that's what a husband and wife is about. You always, you do whatever your wife wants. You do whatever your husband wants and what's best for you and the family. And Topanga thinks that the best thing right now is to move to London. I'm not sure why she changes her mind. Maybe she does change her mind. Maybe she loses the offer, but they don't move to London in the end. So anyways, so yeah, everything. So on my last video, I was really upset because, again, Girl Meets World got canceled. And I kind of jumped the gun. I kind of just said, hey, I'm leaving after Girl Meets Goodbye. So long. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye. I'm not doing that. I was really upset when I posted that video. I realized that I'm going to fight for this show. I want the show to continue. If you don't know, Michael Jacobs is in the process right now of trying to get it adopted by Netflix or Hulu. They're at the very beginning process of it. It will take a couple months for Girl Meets World to be back on if Netflix or Hulu decides to pick it up. Just to be warned, if it does get picked up, it will take about a couple months or so to get everything figured out because, they have to go through all this licensing and stuff like that. So I'm going to keep fighting for the show because I think Rayarkle and, Lukaya, Zadora, whatever, they all deserve to be with each other, right? My pages are going to stay on. I'm not deleting my pages. So even if after the last episode, Girl Meets Goodbye, I'm going to continue my show. I'm going to continue my YouTube videos. I'm going to make an update on anything I hear for Girl Meets World. We are going to fight for this show, guys. Call Netflix, call Hulu, do what you can. We got to get this show back on the road. I'm not giving up. This is my show. I've stuck with it for way too long. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up now. Anyways, thank you guys. Don't forget, I'll post my links on the bottom, my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Tumblr. I'll see you guys next week for Girl Meets Goodbye. Stay tuned because that's going to be a huge Rayarkle episode. That's when feelings start to emerge. Thank you guys, and I'm sorry if I, kind of sounded weird on the last, video. Like I said, I was upset, but we're going to keep fighting for this show. Oh, and a lot of you were asking me if I could do another show. I'm not too sure yet. If Girl Meets World gets picked up, I'm not gonna go there. But if it doesn't, then I don't know. Comment and give me some ideas for a couple shows. As long as it's fully seasoned and stuff like that, nothing that's canceled, I'll totally do it. If Girl Meets World doesn't get picked up, but I have a good feeling it will. But comment on shows you think I should watch, and I'll give it a chance. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye. Love you all. Subscribe.